Scrappy stood there, his heart pounding in his chest as the words he had hoped to hear echoed in his mind. But they never came. Bambi's eyes were distant, her expression unreadable. She had always been a beautiful enigma to him, and for so long, he had believed that if he just tried hard enough, she would eventually see him the way he saw her. The sun was setting, casting an orange glow across the meadow where they stood, and the air felt thick with tension. Stomach twisted in knots. This was it, the moment that would either make or break everything. He had spent weeks planning for this, rehearsing his words, imagining the smile on her face as she said yes. He had pictured their future together, hand in hand, facing the world as one. The years of friendship, the moments of laughter, the quiet understanding they shared, it all felt like it was leading to this one defining moment. "Scrappy," Bambi said softly, her voice cracking slightly. "I don't know what to say. I didn't expect this." His pulse quickened as she slowly stepped back, her gaze lowering to the ground. "I care about you, Scrappy, but I don't feel the same way. I don't think I ever will." The words hit him like a blow to the chest. The world around him seemed to blur, the colors of the sky fading into a dull haze. He wanted to speak, to tell her that this wasn't just a passing moment, that he had loved her for so long, that she was the only one who had ever truly mattered. But his throat felt tight. His words stuck somewhere between his heart and his lips. For a long time, there was silence between them. The wind rustled the leaves, and the distant call of a bird broke through the stillness, but none of it seemed real. Scrappy's legs felt weak beneath him. He wanted to fall to his knees, to beg her to reconsider, but something inside told him that pleading would only make it worse. He opened the box, the engagement ring glistening in the soft light of the setting sun. He didn't know why he was still holding it, why he hadn't just dropped it to the ground and walked away. But he couldn't. He couldn't let go of the dream, even if it was slipping through his fingers. Bambi looked at the ring for a moment, then back at him, her expression sorrowful. "I'm so sorry, Scrappy," she whispered, the guilt evident in her voice. "I never wanted to hurt you. You're one of the most important people in my life, but not in that way." Scrappy's breath hitched. "But I've always been there for you. I've always been loyal. Don't you see? I love you, Bambi." His voice wavered, the pain leaking through the cracks of his usually strong exterior. She nodded, a tear escaping from the corner of her eye. "I know, and I'll always care for you. But love, it's not something that can be forced. You deserve someone who truly feels the same way, someone who can make you as happy as you deserve to be." The finality of her words struck him like a cold wave. He had always believed there was a chance. He had always believed that love would find a way. But in that moment, it felt as if the world had shifted, and the person he had hoped to build a future with was slipping away. He couldn't stop the tears from forming in his eyes. Scrappy had always prided himself on being strong, on being the one people could count on. But in that instant, he felt weak. His whole life had been wrapped around the idea of a future with Bambi, and now it was gone. Bambi reached out hesitantly, placing a gentle hand on his arm. "Please don't be upset. I never wanted this to hurt you." He took a shaky breath, trying to steady himself. He wanted to pull away from her touch, to distance himself from the pain, but instead, he found himself looking into her eyes. Eyes that he had admired for so long, eyes that now felt like a distant memory. "I'll always be here for you, Scrappy," Bambi said quietly. "But right now, we both need time to figure things out." And just like that, she turned and walked away, leaving him standing alone in the fading light. Scrappy remained in the meadow, the weight of her rejection pressing down on him like a heavy burden. He had no idea how long he stood there, staring at the empty space where Bambi had once been. The ring in his hand felt like a symbol of everything he had lost. But deep down, he knew he couldn't give up. Not yet. Wait until the day came when Bambi might realize that she had made a mistake. Wait until the day she might return to him. Because despite everything, despite the rejection, Scrappy couldn't let go of the hope that somehow, some way, she would come back into his life.